We're talking about hard mode stage 1 through 10 for the new Dragon Dungeon. Any affinity, no champions required. Let's dive right into it. What up, team? It's MurderInc here. We are on the test server again, talking about dragons there. Another dungeon that had its mechanics changed for the new hard mode iterations of this. Overall, again, another underwhelming dungeon for sure here. They did add a bunch of really cool mechanics, so I'm going to show you a clip of the best run that I came up with, and then we'll talk about what champions you guys can use and the overall ways to defeat this dragon very quickly, regardless of affinity or your champion pool. Alright, so as you saw, I used a poison explosion team, and I used stone skin gear on everybody. Kind of crazy. So what I want to do is come back to reality here, to the game itself, and we're going to walk through this dungeon as we did before. Now the gear is slightly different on this team than the one you previously saw. One thing that you obviously know is Zavia isn't in stone skin gear. I hope she's still geared. I'm not quite sure. I know I tested her on Fire Knight a lot, so she's going to be the only one that isn't geared to the clip you just saw, but it's not going to change anything. So first wave, self-explanatory. Second wave, self-explanatory. All you really need to worry about for these waves is one-shot them as best as you can if you're going for a fast time. If not, be very careful and bring a reviver, because these waves can do a lot of damage, and if you cannot one-shot like this cardinal, for example, you're going to have champions revive on you, which could be a problematic. So as we saw, how do we get around one-shotting this wave here? Just to be safe, we debuff spread. We blow a couple A1s here. Let's do a little bit of that. Cycling through one more time. And then finally the explosion. Okay, so this is where things get really cool here. Now, originally in the video, Zavia isn't this fast for obvious reasons, and she has stone skin, so she survives. If she doesn't get crit, she will live here. Okay, so she barely lives. This is a perfect example as to why, for a team like this, you're going to want stone skin gear. So if you didn't notice already, the basic premise of this team is apply poisons, extend it with a champion like this, and you can use any extension champion you want. Then you're going to use Calvalix enemy max health here. You don't want to ignite them because ignite damage is going to be capped, so that's something to keep in mind for sure. Now we have our second enemy max health ignition here. All things are good. And he's just taking damage. We're going to extend one more time, which is going to guarantee the kill, so we don't have to do anything besides spam A1s. Everyone's going to die, or everyone should have died there. It doesn't really matter. It just kind of takes off, I don't know, 2 seconds if the entire team is in one shot. We use this A1 here, and then he just dies because he's getting so many turns, and you're building negative speed on at least one stone skin champion. For me, that's clearly Elenaro here, and you're going to get 41 to 48 seconds is the worst. If I wanted to really min-max this team, I would say sub 30 seconds is more than possible here, because I really didn't spend much time on this dungeon, to be honest with you. Fire Knight was the main goal. This was just another easy dungeon with changed mechanics here. So to everyone wondering at this point in the video, what if I don't have two Calvalix, Zavia, Elenaro, and Vizier Ovelis? fantastic question. I am not going to disappoint, as I never do with these overall boss guide videos. So I'm going to show you a more realistic team that most players should have if you are considering to start farming stage 10 of the hard mode dungeons. And it gives you a lot more options and flexibility of champions you can in fact use here. So the next dungeon preset, as we can see on the team, is going to be Mithrala, Battle, Lydia, Seer, and then finally Kymar. You can swap this in with Renegade here, but the basic breakdown of the mechanics is what we really want to focus on here. Now, if you have Seer, you already know that you're going to be one-shotting these waves like crazy. So let's just see the first interaction here with the buffs. Okay, so if you're not sure, this is ranging from 900,000 to 1.7 million damage per target, which is, needless to say, more than enough than you would need for someone like a Seer to one-shot the waves quite significantly here. So same thing happens. Once again, 900,000 to over 2 million damage per target on all of these waves here. You're not going to struggle by any means. Now the key here is going to be, if you look at the dragon, the attack up buff that he's placing on himself, you have to get that off of him. You just have to. So we have Lydia providing you with the block buffs after you remove it for the first time, and we have Kymar stripping the buff on the first turn. This is crucial. If you leave the attack up, you're going to be crit for ungodly numbers, which is why in the original team I showed you with stone skin gear, because it's very hard to survive. Even my +4 Zavia, built completely defensively for Fire Knight, survived with like 10 HP or whatever HP it was. So crazy stuff for sure. So this team is pretty typical here. We have a double cleanse. Like I said, cleanse is very important here. I wouldn't try to use resistance. You can definitely try to resist if you want to. However, I stacked around 500 resistance and it still fell short. That's a lot of resistance to waste on a team like this, on a boss where its mechanics are just way too simple to justify that. So I would highly recommend using Mithrala, which if you're doing hard mode dungeons, you should have Mithrala by now from doing Hydra, and a second cleanse champion just in case Mithrala's cooldown isn't back up, because as we all know, this boss also does a poison explosion, which can be very bad news if you let that get off. So while this team is going to be a decent bit slower here, you can kind of see how it works. We're constantly stripping the attack up buff, providing block buffs on the dragon itself, and look at that one hit there we took without attack up. We almost lost Seer, we almost lost Battle, which is why I cannot stress enough how important it is to take off that attack up buff on the boss here. Cleansing, double cleanse is kind of what I found to be most realistic here. So Seer almost dies here. You can kind of plug and play that. Even if Seer did die, it wouldn't be the biggest deal. It would probably just speed things up because I don't think there's going to be another karma burn. Okay, so Seer does end up dying anyways in this run. And like I said, the time's not too much different. It's 1 minute and 5 seconds compared to 41 seconds, and it doesn't require a ton of crazy champions. Everyone should have Mithrala, everyone should have Lydia, and then you need another cleansing champion with Battle, a reset champion where you can use Renegade for sure. However, if you do use Renegade, you have to keep in mind that you no longer have someone to get rid of the attack up buff. And then finally, Seer for wave clears, and a lot of players who are speed farming 25, who would be looking to start farming stage 10, are going to have Seer for sure, as she is still one of the best, literally the best champions in the entire game. So a quick breakdown outside of the first team, focusing on the second team, of what you need for this dungeon. Double cleanse is preferable, block buffs, poison damage, enemy max health, buff strip, and then you are set. Adding in any survivability needs you need after that is up to you. Now I'm going to show you the speeds and the tuning and the presets of the other teams just in case you're curious. Starting off with the team we're currently on here. First we have Mithrala at 252 speed, 67,000 health, 2,500 defense, resistance 300, accuracy 469. This is actually nothing too special about this. You're going to open with the A3 here, as you can expect, and outside of that, there's nothing really to round 2 and 3 AI prioritization. It's all going to be self-sustained after that. Next, we have Bad Alcazar, 79,000 health, 2,600 defense, 256 speed. If I haven't said this already, I'm fairly certain the speed for Stage 10 Dragon is going to be 250, so something to keep in mind if you're not running a turn meter booster and you do plan on going first here. Resistance doesn't matter too much. He was barely resisting anything, as mentioned in my Fire Knight video. Even running at 500 resistance, I was still having lots of debuffs placed on me. So if you're in content like Dragon, where it's pretty deadly to have any type of poison on your champions without a cleanse, I would not recommend going the resistance route. Accuracy on battle is rather low, and my recommended until someone comes out with a data mined list is going to be 350. That's simply what I found from testing being the most consistent and only falling under the 3% rule. His AI you can leave unchanged here. Prince Kaimar, again, disable the A3. Auto the A1 for the first hit, 275 speed, 66,000 health, 3,000 defense, 378 accuracy. And then finally, in the third round, just open with the A1 as well. Next, we have Lydia, 248 speed, 422 accuracy, 90,000 health, really tanky, 3,500 defense. Starting with the A2, of course. And then finally, moving on to Seer, 214 speed, 249 accuracy, 47,000 health, 2,300 defense. 100% crit rate, 309% crit damage. It is quite clear why Seer was the one dying at the end of the Dragon Run we all just saw here. And now, since I skipped it, let's go back to the original team if you're curious about the Stone Skin team and what stats you would need to make that team as successful as possible. As mentioned, the best time was 41 seconds. If you swap someone like a Vizier for a Corvus, for example, you should be looking at around 30 seconds for sure, simply because of how much faster his animations are than someone like a Vizier. So if you do have Vizier, you're just going to disable all of his abilities. In round 3, his stats are 51,000 health, 3,400 defense, 236 speed, accuracy 382. This isn't really speed tuned, and they're all wearing Stone Skin gear, so the speeds are very, very loose values, which is one thing I really liked about this. I had been playing around with the speeds consistently, and all of the teams were within 41 to 48 seconds, like across the board. So in all of the runs were between 41 to 52 seconds across the board, and I would swing speeds up to 30. So that is the good news for anyone trying to replicate this specific team here. As far as the other stats go, they're not that relevant. Only the AI matters. The only other thing about the AI for Vizier is try to prioritize the debuff spread on the second wave with Elenaro. Outside of that, you're pretty much set. Moving on to Elenaro, 126 speed. This is where you want Stone Skin, accuracy, and then no speed on the champion. So hopefully everyone's been saving their Stone Skin gear. For this, you're going to disable the Combust for the actual Dragon wave, and for the other waves, you'll leave the AI as is. The next is going to be Calvalix, where only stage 3 matters. Again, very slow, meet the accuracy check, 100% crit rate, crit damage. This is where Stone Skin gearing gets harder, but the good news is you only need 4-piece Stone Skin on Calvalix, Zavia, and Vizier Ovelis. The only person that needs full 6 pieces that are very slow is going to be Elenaro, because she's the easiest one to gear. It didn't make sense to build a new Calvalix in a 6-piece Stone Skin, because the faster he dies, the faster the run gets to be. So for the last stage of the Dragon, you simply disable the A2, use the A3 in your set. As far as rounds 1 and 2 go, just disable the A3 for both of those, and you're fine. You can also disable the A2 for that second round as shown on the screen, just in case. And then for the second Calvalix's stats, he has a little bit lower crit damage because I didn't want to waste too much Stone Skin on this team. It was already pretty hefty as it is, and a lot of my arena champions are currently in Stone Skin. So for the stats, 100% crit rate, 262 crit damage, meet the accuracy check, health and defense do not matter at all. Now finally Zavia, she's the fastest one on the team. She doesn't need to be. This is another thing that I played around with that can save you time. I did this more for consistency. Disable the A2 at the start. Give her decent crit rate. You don't need anything crazy. Crit damage, all of this is fluff and extra stuff. And then moving on to the final round 3, she's going to open with that A2, giving you 2 more poisons, or at least a chance to land 2 more poisons, which in return has the chance of making the dungeon that much faster for sure here. And similar to Eleanor, you're going to disable the poison explosion. So again, this is probably one of the most loose teams I've ever seen as far as speed requirements go. You can kind of be all over the place, which is good because of how much stone skin gear you need, and hopefully people haven't just been randomly selling stone skin gear despite having flat stats on them. If you have, this is the reason why you would never just simply sell flat stats, despite what many other people say. Just saying. So between the both teams that I showed you and the mechanics of this dragon boss, most players that have accounts capable of defeating the dragon on hard mode, all affinities, all stages, is going to be fairly simple because not much really changed. The dragon hits harder. It's more important to cleanse the poisons, and that's pretty much it. So that's going to conclude this video. If you enjoyed this content, smash that like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I will see you all in my next upload.